Today's episode covers shifting strategies at Volkswagen, the cancellation of the ID.Buzz for 2026, Rivian's new solar tonneau option for the R1T, GM CEO Sterling Anderson's comments on the EV transition, and Dodge's plan for a 2027 Charger Daytona EV with Tesla charging compatibility. Welcome back to Autonews Daily. I'm Leah Morgan. Let's dive into today's headlines. Volkswagen has decided to drop its small gasoline models and warned that small gas cars have little future in the company's strategy. Executives framed the move as a response to tightening emissions rules, changing consumer demand, and the necessity to focus investment on electrification and software. For drivers and dealers, that signals a shift in available entry points to the VW lineup and a broader industry trend away from smaller combustion engine products. The decision to forego small gas cars reflects more than product pruning. It reshapes market segments and supplier relationships. Small engines, lightweight components, and low-cost vehicle architectures have long supported a network of Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers who specialize in compact, cost-sensitive systems. Removing those models pressures suppliers to adapt their product portfolios toward electrified powertrains, battery systems, and vehicle software, or to find new customers abroad where compact gas cars may still be in demand. For consumers, especially in regions where cost and running range are primary concerns, the retreat of small gas cars may accelerate demand for affordable EV alternatives, secondhand options, or mobility services. There's also a branding and geographic dimension to this announcement. VW's move is likely to be felt differently across continents. In markets with strong EV infrastructure and incentives, the pivot will be smoother. In others, where charging networks lag and fuel prices remain moderate, the absence of new small combustion models could create gaps in accessible mobility. That gap may open opportunities for startups, regional manufacturers, or newer marques that can produce low-cost combustion vehicles for underserved markets, while legacy OEMs double down on EV architectures optimized for software, autonomy, and energy efficiency. Turning to Volkswagen's other headline, the ID.Buzz electric bus will not return for the 2026 model year. This cancellation underlines how automakers are constantly reassessing model portfolios against profitability and market timing. For a model that carried a lot of brand symbolism, shelving the ID.Buzz for 2026 suggests VW is reprioritizing resources toward other EV projects and perhaps reallocating manufacturing capacity to higher volume or higher margin vehicles. From an industry perspective, canceling a high-profile EV like the ID.Buzz also comes with trade-offs. The ID.Buzz had strong publicity value and helped position VW as an EV innovator with a distinctive design language. Dropping it, even temporarily, risks losing some of that halo effect. At the same time, automakers that choose to narrow their immediate EV offerings can concentrate on improving unit economics, scaling battery supply, and smoothing production, all critical to profitability. Dealers and marketing teams will need to recalibrate expectations about showroom lineups, and buyers who were waiting for a uniquely styled electric people mover may look to other niche players or conversion options. Shifting from legacy OEM adjustments to supplier-driven innovation, Rivian has announced pricing for a solar tonneau cover for its R1T electric pickup. This represents a continued effort to integrate renewable energy technologies into EV ownership and to offer accessories that extend vehicle functionality. Solar panels on trucks can provide auxiliary power for accessories, modestly extend range, or support off-grid camping and worksite applications, and naming a price is a step toward mainstreaming these options. The importance here is twofold. One, it shows that EV makers are exploring new revenue streams beyond vehicle sales through add-ons and subscription services. And two, it signals a growing market for hardware that blends energy generation with mobility. For fleet operators and adventure-oriented buyers, an OEM-backed solar accessory could be attractive because it's engineered to the vehicle's electrical architecture and supported by warranty and service networks. That said, buyers should weigh the real-world benefits. Solar panels on a tonneau cover are unlikely to replace charging, but can improve convenience and support auxiliary loads. This move also nudges the industry to consider how accessories affect vehicle performance and warranty coverage, and how aftermarket companies will respond. Traditional accessory makers may need to pivot their offerings to remain competitive, while energy and software partners will find new integration points. For Rivian, the solar tonneau cover is a statement of intent. The company is positioning itself at the intersection of EV utility and outdoor lifestyle, and it's testing customer appetite for bundled energy solutions. Next, Sterling Anderson, the CEO of General Motors, has been speaking about EV strategy and the company's direction. Leadership commentary like this matters because it signals where investment, partnerships, and product development will flow. When a major OEM CEO discusses the transition to electric vehicles, suppliers pay attention to potential platform priorities, software stacks, and infrastructure commitments that could affect contracts and long-term planning. Anderson's remarks also serve to reassure investors, dealers, and customers that the company remains committed to competing in the EV space while navigating practical challenges: production capacity, battery sourcing, charging networks, and consumer adoption. For employees and suppliers, a consistent strategic narrative from the top helps coordinate complex programs across manufacturing plants, engineering centers, and distribution. At the same time, CEOs are balancing the long-term vision against near-term realities, ensuring current profitability, meeting regulatory requirements, and keeping dealers and buyers confident as portfolios transition. On the consumer side, leadership statements can influence buying sentiment. Clear direction from a CEO on product timing, charging support, and software upgrades can mitigate hesitancy. If GM emphasizes interoperability, charging partnerships, or customer-focused software, that will help buyers see EVs as a practical alternative. For the broader market, comments from prominent CEOs shape the competitive landscape, prompting other OEMs to refine their messages and adjust investment priorities. Now a story touching infrastructure and interoperability. Dodge plans a 2027 Charger Daytona EV and intends to adopt the Tesla NACS charging port. This combination shows two complementary strategic moves: launching a high-profile electric nameplate and ensuring access to a widely used charging standard. For electric vehicles to gain mainstream acceptance, having access to a robust and familiar charging network is a major advantage, and aligning with Tesla's connector standard simplifies the charging experience for buyers. From a market readiness perspective, integrating a common charging standard reduces friction for customers and can speed adoption, especially for brands transitioning iconic nameplates from ICE to EV. For charging network providers, automaker adoption of NACS may influence where they prioritize upgrades and investments. For Dodge, aligning the Charger Daytona EV with an established charging ecosystem supports the vehicle's appeal to performance-focused buyers who expect long road trip capability and straightforward charging. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing the news for you. Finally, returning to the headline that has captured the most attention: Volkswagen's stark warning that small gasoline cars are effectively doomed under its strategy. That pronouncement crystallizes a larger industry reality. Major OEMs are reallocating engineering, capital, and plant capacity toward electrification, leaving less room for low-margin, small-displacement combustion models. For consumers, this means the traditional entry-level car market will look different in the coming years, with EVs, compact crossovers, and alternative ownership models filling the space once occupied by small gas cars. The implications stretch across the automotive ecosystem. Cities and regulators considering transport policy will see this as confirmation that OEMs are aligning with long-term decarbonization goals, potentially influencing infrastructure and incentive programs. Used car markets may shift as small gas vehicles become scarcer as new models, changing depreciation curves and buyer options. Moreover, the strategic choice by a leading global OEM to step away from small combustion cars increases pressure on competitors to clarify their own agendas. Will they continue to serve those segments or follow suit and accelerate electrification? At the consumer level, this strategy invites questions about equity and access to mobility. Will affordable EVs arrive fast enough, and will charging infrastructure expand in pace with electrification, especially in regions where home charging is less common? OEMs and policymakers will need to work together to ensure transitions do not leave behind households that rely on low-cost, simple vehicles. For suppliers and regional economies dependent on small car production, the change will be disruptive and will require proactive retraining, investment in new technologies, and perhaps support programs to smooth the shift. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.